Hi there, welcome to Dave in the Shed. I'm Dave and this is my little corner of the world, also known as the Shed Mahal. Now if you're into DIY, 3D printing and model trains, you've come to the right place. Now fair warning, I do things a little bit differently. I have cerebral palsy, which means sometimes things get a little bit creative around here, but hey, it just makes it more fun. So if you like making, fixing, and maybe even breaking things along the way, stick around. Hit that subscribe button and let's build something awesome together.
Down in the shed where the magic begins, Dave's got his tools, let the fun commence. 3D printing dreams, watch him come alive. With every little gadget, man, he starts to thrive. Blueprints in hand, technology so keen, building up the future like a crafty machine. Model trains rolling on a whimsical track. In this shed of wonder, there's no time to slack. Oh, Dave in the shed where the vibes stay high. Creating with passion, he's reaching for the sky. DIY master in a vibrant samba flow. Hope you enjoyed the video, let's get ready to go. Let's get ready to go.
Well, welcome to Friday. Another update from Dave in the Shed. Filming this earlier on a Friday than what I normally film. The reason is they're coming back to work on next door's roof again, as we saw in the last video. They're putting some paint on it. They're painting it strangely, and they're actually using a spray gun that makes the most annoying noise you've ever heard if you're outside or even in the shed. It sounds a bit like a car trying to start on a flat battery. You know that noise? In fact, yesterday when they were spraying and they paused, I yelled out at the top of my voice, pull the choke out, it might start. And the bloke almost fell off the roof laughing because he thought that was funny. That's what it sounds like, somebody trying to start on a really cold morning with half flat battery. You know that sound, well some people do. Anyway, this week I have been doing more painting, as in painting the foreground and the background. This week we have painted the background stage, or the, there's a word for it anyway, but anyway, you can see here the blue liner. Now the colour is called, and it is called Skyline. Now it's a greeny blue, and it's not a traditional colour people use for backdrops, that's the word, backdrop, Dave, but it's a blendy colour. If you'll see that that greeny minty colour in the foreground and the background, they sort of like complement each other. It's meant to sort of like a hazy blue, a midsummer blue. It's not meant to stand out as being blue. It's not meant to stand out at all. In fact, the two colours are not meant to. The whole trick of the eye and colours, they're not meant to stand out. They're just meant to be there and you don't notice them. And I think it works okay. Works right. Did have a lot of fun trying to get the colour. Because I spoke to Dulux about the colour and they gave me a colour code, and yeah, using the Dulux consultant, I went to the Vulcan Bunnings and the bloke told me he couldn't mix it. So then I asked like back onto the Dulux and they gave me another colour code that was like the same colour but different name, and went back and the bloke still couldn't mix it, and then stuffing around and saying, hey, Dulux told me this and this and this. The minimum they could end up mixing was on a British paint base and in a litre. So even though, yeah, so that was a bit strange, that story, where the last bloke, we got this little pot here for the lighter minty colour. I just went up and said, this is the colour, this is the chart, the bloke mixed it, was spot on. Different bloke, different day, different results. Anyway, if you want the colour codes, let me know and I'll tell you. But anyway, now, lots of umming and ahhing this week, and I thought about the placement of the diesel tank, and I moved the diesel tank. Also put it in a little Burmese dam, so, because somebody said, hey mate, that's, your setup's really interesting, but plastic tank split and you could leak and go fuels, and that person was right. So I've done a bit of a move, reset the rig, it's working fine. Now, once again, continue these, like all this back scene, putting all this back scene and painting that. So we now have a piece that sits here across the front of the window, a bit of engineering on it so the louver window can still open. And I have continued painting right round. Now I've got some other things to show you, we'll come back. We'll go for it. So I've painted right round that edge. So it sort of like defines as one continuous place. Wander around here. One of the big changes was even the green Ryobi wall went. I've still got to do around here in that light blue yet, so I've still got some places we have to come back with the bottom blue, that minty green. But so in the background behind the factory, the old Ryobi green wall's gone. Ryobi Hill's the same, the bridge is still green, but that blue now continues. And we've got some blending to do and some bits and pieces, but it's all like, yeah, so I hope that comes across on the camera because it really is quite an interesting effect. Sorry, squeezing through the back, through the thing there. It is actually quite a pleasing effect overall. We should go back over here, Dave. Go back round across the room. So it's sort of like blends the layout into the room. It's sort of like rooms of layout into the blend. Anyway, it does not too bad. Not too bad. So sort of like, hopefully it comes across on the camera. Anyway, let's look at some projects for this week. I've been telling you I've been working on something and keeping it a secret and keeping it a secret. Well, I'll reveal what I was working on and that I was keeping a secret. This was based on the 1/4" static model we did of the K, and I sort of like modified it to run on the railway, and the project's a disaster. The clearances are woeful, as in size, because it's running on the 38, the GP38 chassis. Yeah, it either needs to be a lot shorter unit or a bigger mech, and I'm really, yeah. Anyway, so that's one of the things I was saying. I've been working on it, this in the background, working on it. It's going to be a big surprise when I show you. Well, yeah, let's put some power on. The big surprise is it's useless. Sorry, I just spinning the controller with the other hand. So yeah, that's a bit of a disaster. I'll show you something. I'm just calling up on the. Oh, it's not programming. Hang on, I've got to swap controllers. It's not programming that controller. You want to see a disaster live on video? Look. Oh, there you go. Live train pang. Not one of my best designs, not one of the best ideas, a bit of fun, but no. We won't be going forward with that project in any way, shape or form, I don't think. Unless I find some new mech or something, but not one of your best designs. Okay, talking about new designs, but these are work in progresses. I've got 2 new locomotives that are in the development stage and are working out well. This is a loco that is roughly based on a cross between the SMR 10 class and the old Sydney Z10, Z20, those sort of locos. So this sits on the Bachmann common as mud ON Frio chassis. What is it? Oh, it's a Mogul. Standard one, the Bachmann flog out everywhere. So now, if you like this, interested in this loco, when I've sort of like done a bit more work on it, we will share the 3D files online. So that's really happy with that so far. I have reused they're called cow catchers off the factory loco. Now I have 2 of these locos, so I rebuilt 2 locos into one. So I've pinched the cow catcher off the other one, so it's got a cow catcher front and back, so it's actually a proper tramline like loco, like the ones that you use down at Camden Tramway. On that and that, and also in the works is a Climax Now this is Mr. Faulkner. Is his name Faulkner? Anyway, this is from Mad Ram Designs. They have design. Now I did the little one. You've seen my ON18 Climax. I thought, well, let's not do a big one. Let's do the big one. So this is based on the Bachmann S2, Bachmann Alco S2 chassis that I've used under Arthur and a few other locos, and loco number, I'll show you, 3/4. Also use the same chassis. So if you come down here to Ryobi factory, we have the shunter that is based at the Ryobi factory. It's also used for if a loco is heading up Ryobi Hill and needs assistance, need a helper. This loco stage here is the shunter for Ryobi, but it also works as a helper unit, assistant unit to push other trains up the hill if required, because it's in the perfect spot for it there, isn't it? So when we play steam trainies, when we're doing steam train runs, this Climax will be based as the shunter at Ryobi, and also a steam assistant unit to push up the hill. So there you go. As well as this loco will probably go in service when we steamy train run on the coal train. If that makes all sense. Look, if you've got any questions about anything I rabbit on about, let me know. So the area that wasn't going to be scenic, that we referred to as Burt Pine, is now slowly gathering scenic items. Pardon the roll of cable. This will be for running the extra lighting bus for the buildings up here. Now, a couple more things just to discuss quickly before we finish up this video. As always with Dave, I'm about to do some rebuilding and some pulling some buildings apart and rebuilding buildings, because doing that. Where is the little Climax? Hang on. Got drop sheets, are we? On the roo nuts. That's the little Climax. So that one's built up from that. That's my little ON18 Climax that we built. But anyway. Okay, this is something I discovered on Temu. It's designed for the remote control car industry, but I thought this was pretty nifty, and I'm going to use these. I should have brought my little tripod. This is a magnetic connector, so it's like that. Bear me off. So it's only 3 cables, which is good for remote control and servo, but it's magnetic based connector, very much like the couplers they use on big trains. Now the amazing thing is it magnetically connects. If I can get it right. Oh, sticking that. But the way it is magnetically indexed, you can't put it on the wrong way around. It won't line up, won't connect unless you get the magnets right. So it'll connect up that way. Sorry, I'm rabbiting on, but it won't connect this way. I'm trying to connect it. It won't connect the wrong polarization. It won't let you, because of the way the magnets are, which is magnificent. What am I going to use them for? Well, the one take, these are, well, they come in a packet. Got them off, Temu. Look, Temu order arrived. This is all the extra grass and scenic material that I get off Temu to do the touch-ups and the bits and pieces, and to repair the damage where we did the new line. So that was a big Temu order, so that'll be working on next week in a bit. Static grass and bits and pieces to do me tidy up from when I wrecked putting in the new return loop. But anyway, these connectors, I plan to do them down here at the steam depot. Coughing again. I think I'm going to rebuild the building or do something. It's on a tether cable. But I'm looking at ways of redoing the shed. We may or may not rebuild the shed, because having the running line running through the shed is a bit silly, Dave. Fair enough, when it was the end of the line under the old route, that was fine. But now that the running line runs through the shed, just thinking about maybe it's time for a new shed or do something. But anyway, I did explain in the previous video, I wanted to redo the lighting, make it easy to pull the shed in and out if we have issues with it. And it's on a flying lead at the moment. You feel like you have to undo this cable and pull the shed out. So if we put those magnetic connectors in here, we will be able to lift the shed in and out quite easily, instead of having it on a cable and have to undo the termination and pull the thing out to get the shed out to work on the lighting. which I want to do. So we're going to do that. We're going to use those magnetic connectors there, and I plan to use them also at the other loco shed, because we have the same thing at the new diesel shed with D9. I'll get the right loco with D9 sitting there. Once again, it's on a fly cable, and we're going to use a magnetic connector on that one. And maybe we will use one if we have to repair, although it's never failed since I did the rebuild on Mr. Lighthouse. Anyway, that is it for this week. We've always rabbited on about nothing for about 13 minutes, which is not bad. Don't forget, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you just found this wandering around the YouTubes or the interwebs and think you'd like to see more, subscribe. If you've got any comments, please leave the comments. If you want to ask any questions about Dave rabbiting on, please feel free. If you're interested in any of the 3D files for the items that I've worked on, let me know. Quite happy to share. So until we meet again next week, all going well, where I will probably have more updates. Keep well, keep fit, keep warm. But most importantly, try something different. Get out in your shed, have a go. Because in the words of Henry Ford, if you think you can, and if you think you can't, you're right. So have a crack at something. Have a crack at something different. Got nothing to lose. Got nothing to lose. Anyway, enough of me rabbiting on. Talk to you later. Just going to do a bit of a pan round shot here. We'll see if we can do a pan and a wander. Oh, by the way, got something interesting coming to show you next week. And I say that every week, and you come back and, yeah, something next week. I was hoping it'd be here today, but it won't. That's why I'm doing the video early. There's no use waiting, but next week I'm doing something interesting. Okay, bye.